there have been plenty of times when India has out-batted the opposition, and quite a few times recently when they've out-bowled them as well. But this is one of those rare occasions when pretty much the fielding has won the game for India, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, but the pressure was built by the bowlers, and that I think resulted in those breakthroughs that we got in the field. But it's important to grab those opportunities as well. And thinking about how we wanted to improve our fielding, I think this was something that we required, this kind of a fielding performance. And before going out, we had a chat in the huddle that I want to see everyone's intensity go up, and that is a conscious effort we have to make individually in such a big game. You need to start well, and then the bowlers were on the money, and that actually helps the fielders get into better positions and attack the batsmen when they know the bowler's hitting the right spot regularly. But
Virat, there was not much on the pitch there, but your bowlers still created something out of nothing, and also once you had them under the pump, once after the 2 run-outs, you finished them off. Do you think that's kind of becoming the feature of this team, those two things, making things out of nothing and then finishing them off, more important?
I think 2 games have done that really well. One game we had an off day, which is we've discussed before already. But yeah, this is something that we've spoken as well, that when you have teams down for 5 or 6 for not many, you need to understand how to finish games off and close games off. Luckily we got their big strikers out early, and that really helps to close the innings off, because in the end, if you get a 50-60 run partnership, the opposition is still in the game, and we didn't want that to happen. So yeah, I mean, the bowlers stuck to their lines and got us the breakthroughs when we required, and that really helps. When you chase that kind of a total down, you can take your time because the bowlers have done such a good job.
Did you tell anything specially to Bumrah, because he had to open the attack with a new ball, which is not his regular job, recently. So what did you tell him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was looking forward to it. He's an attacking bowler, and all I said was, express yourself, go for wickets. If you want to york people with the new ball, do it. If you want to bounce people, do it. This is your opportunity. The new ball does quite a bit, and you can get us a couple of breakthroughs. And his intention was to pick up wickets, and that's why we were able to create pressure from both ends. I mean, Bhuvi, we always know, is very consistent, but I think the way Bumrah bowled as well, really tightened things from both ends, and then 30 odd runs in 10 overs was an outstanding start for us, and then we could build on from there and get those important breakthroughs.
Thank you, sir. Question? A cue about the bowlers, nearly 24 maiden overs bowled by the Indian bowling unit. Do you think that in a high pressure match as a captain, this is the best that you have seen from your bowlers, against a quality world #1 side, nearly 24 maiden overs?
See, I don't know the figures. I don't know how many maiden overs or dot balls, but something that we spoke about, we executed that, and that always feels good as a team. I'm really delighted for all the bowlers to have executed their plans so well in such a big game, and to be able to bowl like that against a batting lineup of their capability is something that already we can feel that confidence and that energy in the change room because of a bowling performance like this, and we'd surely like to take that forward into the semis.
Virat, there was a competition going on between the fielders, bowlers, even from the batters. I mean, the intensity we saw, almost Indian team crushed South Africa. So was the last match playing in the mind that we have to compensate for that also, and we have to do well today? And a little bit on your conversation with Dhoni, I saw lots of time you went there for field setting and chatting. How does that help you as a captain?
Well, his inputs are obviously always very precise, very helpful at any stage of the game. As I said, even the last game we discussed about the part-timers, and he's the one who mentioned it, and then I thought, yeah, why not? Let's give bowlers a break. They probably might be feeling the pressure, and the part-timers have nothing to lose. So that actually slowed the game down also. And today as well, it was all about, asking him whether to keep the slip in there long enough, or, what does he think of the fields, and just taking assurance. I mean, you obviously want to do that. You don't want to feel isolated out there. Yes, you're making the decisions, but the inputs from such experienced players are priceless at any stage of the day. And yeah, I mean, the intensity was really good today. Something, as I said, we've spoken about already. We wanted to improve on it, and we got it. I mean, even with the bat, the way Shikhar batted was really great to see. I mean, obviously I had to hold one end, and I've always done that job for the team. But to have him play his natural game, play free cricket, get boundaries regularly, that really eases the situation out for the whole team. So I'm glad he backed himself and played exactly the way he did in the last game. And yeah, it was. I can't pinpoint any negatives from today. Honestly, it's probably I would say our most complete game yet.
Thank you, sir. Last 5
Virat, first question: did you think that this big game will be a mismatch? And the second portion is that in the semi-finals, out of the 4 teams, 3 teams are from the subcontinent. And do you think that the subcontinental teams, due to the proliferation of limited overs cricket that we play, have become better ODI teams in the world?
Sorry, first question was what? Mismatch?
This mismatch with South Africa.
In terms of what?
I mean, that South Africa did not turn up today, given such a big match.
Well, in cricket you have days like this. I mean, I don't want to say South Africa didn't turn up. I think we played good cricket. Equally in the last game, we gave credit to Sri Lanka. I don't want to take credit away from South Africa here. We played good cricket, and that's what happens. That's why you play the sport. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. Unfortunately, it was their day to lose today, and it was ours in the last game. So that's how I see the sport. You don't want to feel too good about what you've done. You have to respect the game and this game that we play. And what was the second question? Sorry, the subcontinent teams. I don't know, maybe because of how much limited overs cricket we play. I think the players are getting more experienced in difficult situations, and not to say that other teams are not playing well, but maybe some of the teams have really surprised the oppositions with the way they have batted and bowled in certain situations. And credit to all the teams that have made the semis so far. Played some very good cricket to get there, and could be anyone, could be teams from the subcontinent, could be England's there as well, and they're dominating. So it's all about who can play better cricket in a short and competitive tournament like this, and the results are in front of you.
Thank you, sir. Last 4.
Virat, you're absolutely right in that your team has completely dominated South Africa in all departments, batting, bowling, fielding and captaincy. But how much do the South Africans have a history of mental frailty in big games? How much of a factor do you think that was today?
I don't know. I mean, to me, their batsmen look pretty confident, If you get 2 run-outs pretty quickly, then the mindset totally changes. And as a captain, you have to understand where the game is heading after that. We only wanted to go for wickets because we understood now, they're probably hesitating in going for their shots. And we got in attacking fielders, and, we asked the bowlers to make them play difficult shots. So that paid off. I mean, we were able to close the game out. That was really good for us. And as I said, getting their big hitters early was a bonus. I think initially before AB got run out, they were going really well, and Faf and AB were rotating it really well. I think his run out could be the turning point, and David Miller's. He's a very dangerous player as well. They can drag the team up to 260, 270 from any sort of situation. So yeah, I think those 2 run outs were, I think, the turning point today.
Thank you, sir. Last 3. Sydney.
One character that defines his team after you took charge is the ability to bounce back, especially after defeats. Is there any special message that you tell them post that defeat? Because you come back with all guns blazing.
You have to be honest. You have to sometimes say things that hurt. That's what I believe in. You have to lay it out in front of them that this is what we did wrong, including me, and we need to take it on the chin and accept it and improve it. That's why we are chosen among millions of people to play at this level. You have to be good enough to do that for the country, and you have to be good enough to bounce back as well. You can't do the same mistakes over and over again. So I think that sort of mindset is really helping all of us to come together as a unit and make things happen. It's not about asking 2-3 players to do it. We're asking everyone to do it, and everyone's responding really well. Until you have a team effort, you cannot win games, especially in conditions that you are not familiar with. And today was a team performance.
Thank you, sir. Last two.
Virat, how difficult was it to bounce back on the same ground where you had suffered a reverse just 2 days ago, and that too in a crunch situation that if you had lost, you would have been out of the tournament? How difficult was it as a leader to completely change the mindset of the team for this crunch match?
As I said, you have to point out things that didn't go well, but at the same time, you don't want to be nagging them too much, because they're professional cricketers, and I've played with a lot of these guys, and you have to understand how to speak to them and how to communicate and discuss things with them. They are motivated enough to play at this level and perform. It's just that those little things are something that needs a push every now and then, and we embrace it as a team now. And we want to put in that extra effort to make sure that in certain situations we apply pressure for long enough. For that we train harder, for that we practice harder, and those things pay off in crunch situations. If you're not fit enough, if you're not practiced enough, then you tend to lose your way for 5 overs and the game's gone away from you. So those small things are something that we're focusing on. And for me, you look at every game as a game of cricket, but at times you understand the magnitude of what you're playing in as well. And as a captain, I would not say that I was totally calm or I had no issues at all. I mean, obviously you think of wanting to get the team across the line, and I'm glad the boys turned up the way they did today.
Thank you, sir. Last one, Mr. Levy.
आप हमेशा हर मैच में एक इंटेंसिटी रखने की बात करते हो कि टॉप इंटेंसिटी होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये 3 मैचेस थे लीग फेज के, जिसमें से एक मैच जैसे क्वार्टर फाइनल हो गया, अब सेमीफाइनल फाइनल की बात होती है कि जब ऐसे मौके आते हैं तो एक जोन चला जाता है आपकी तरफ से, एक टीम की तरफ से, तो क्या कहोगे? क्योंकि पीछे देखने के लिए कुछ नहीं, सिर्फ ये मैच और बस यही मैच.
नहीं, आई थिंक इस टूर्नामेंट में लीग फेज काफ़ी मुश्किल होता है. अभी जैसे हमारे पास 3 दिन हैं मैच से पहले, और इस मैच से हमने काफ़ी कॉन्फिडेंस लिया. इतनी हाई क्लास साइड को हराना इतना कन्विंसिंगली बहुत एक बूस्ट होता है टीम के लिए. तो अब हमें लिटरली किसी चीज़ की सोचने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. हमें जाके अपनी एबिलिटीज़ को एक्सप्रेस करना है और कॉन्फिडेंट क्रिकेट खेलना है. और दूसरी टीमों को पता है कि हम अच्छा खेल रहे हैं, हमें सिर्फ वो चीज़ें रिपीट करनी है. हमें कुछ ऐसा एक्स्ट्रा नहीं करने की ज़रूरत है. हमने इंटेंसिटी क्रिएट करी है, जैसे मैंने बोला है, कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत मिला इस गेम से. तो अभी लिटरली हमें एक्साइटमेंट है कि सेमीफाइनल कब आएगा. तो वैसा माइंडसेट होना, आई थिंक चेंज रूम में एक बहुत अच्छी फीलिंग है. और आई एम वेरी डिलाइटेड कि आज हम वो क्रिएट कर पाए आज फील्ड में.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
We are traveling to Birmingham.